We're back with the last meat update for quite some time. After I do this, I'm going to put it into bulk storage. I'll explain my steps as I go through it. The first thing we're going to do is take a pH reading. I've already sanitized this. I'm going to set it down in the liquid. And we're looking for a pH of anywhere from 3 to 3.5. And I'm getting about 3.6. It's a little high, but I know I can adjust it with citric acid when I bottle it. I may go ahead and put a tablespoon of citric acid in today. Next thing we're going to do is take a final SG reading, pre-sanitized. You'll remember the last time I added 2 pounds of dark brown sugar. And now we're going to see how far it fermented out. And we're looking at probably 0.992. Let's call that 0.992. I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to record it in my little journal. I have a little chart in front. I can see if that 3.6 pH is going to be acceptable. My range is 3.5 is middle. So I'm hitting pretty good on that. I'm going to leave it. You start messing with stuff and you'll run you'll run whatever you've got started. Now, I'm planning on back sweetening this. So I've pre-mixed in this little cup a ½ teaspoon of potassium sorbate per gallon. So 2½ teaspoons. A ¼ teaspoon of potassium metabisulfite total. And I've also added 1 ounce of vegetable glycerin. The glycerin helps to smooth the meat out. It'll give it more mouthfeel. It'll make it drinkable earlier. Pre-mixed. I've added a tablespoon of water to kind of dissolve it. I'm going to set that down. Now, this is what I'm going to bulk store it in. I know that if I get right up to the neck, I have about 5 gallons. If you'll remember, when I made the mead, I am at about 6 gallons total now. And I did that on purpose. I don't like to drain everything out because I get a lot of sediment. And I've also got this thing I bought that I can lift this up onto the table. This is sanitized, this carboy sanitized, this is sanitized, everything's ready to go. Basically I place it down. One of the things I like about these buckets with the spigot, I've never had a problem with them leaking. Some people have said, well, they leak. Yeah, I don't think they leak. I think a lot of it depends on how good you are at tightening it. I always pre-test mine anyhow with a, when I put sanitizer in it to clean it, so I'm pre-testing it then. Now, I'm going to mix this in. I'm going to dump it in before I siphon the meat in there. Another thing I've done is after 6 months, I may forget, did I add potassium sorbate or not? So I write on a piece of duct tape the day I do it and put it there. And I also double record it in my little book. That way I have no doubt, and I'll tell you why. If you're planning on back sweetening your mead, and you don't use potassium sorbate, to kill it doesn't kill the yeast, but it makes them inactive to where they won't eat the sugar, they won't put off the carbon dioxide and alcohol. If you don't do that, and you plan on sweetening it, when you do sweeten it, the yeast will come right back active. They'll start eating the sugar that you back sweetened with, and it'll build up carbon dioxide in that bottle just like a can of Pepsi or anything else, and it'll bust the bottle, or it has the potential to. This way, I've double insured with the potassium metabisulfite, and the metabisulfite, the potassium sorbate, that no yeast is going to be active. Now I've got my hose down in there. I turn her on. Off we go. I like to take the top, set it back on there. Once this gets full, I will take an old t-shirt that I have and I'll cover it. I like to keep it in darkness. Light doesn't do wine a whole lot of good. And more so with beer. And that's why you always see beer, usually higher quality beers will be in an amber bottle, a green bottle. If you've ever had skunky beer, skunky tasting, skunky smelling, it's usually because it's been exposed to light or it's been exposed to fluctuations in temperature. So I've done this. I'm going to bring this up when it's done. It'll take a little while. We got 5 gallons here. Bring it up, plug it. I'm going to use the same airlock, but I'm going to use this in the top of that. I'm going to stir it around just a little, and I'm going to leave it go. And there's a good chance I'll see airlock activity. And you'll say, why is that? Why is that after you killed the yeast, made them inactive? It's because the mead has dissolved CO2 in it. Again, kind of like a big 2-liter bottle of Pepsi. You bring it home, you pour out the first glass, it's carbonated. You come back a week later or a couple days later, you open it up and you get that psh. That's because a lot of the carbon dioxide that was in the Pepsi, or in this case in the mead, has dissipated out and it's filled that up. So I don't worry too much about this. That's the reason I'm letting it set for 6 months, to get all that CO2 out, to let all the sediment settle to the bottom. That's pretty much it. And I'll see you back here in, well, whenever I decide to taste it.